What's going on, everybody? No, I'm not dead. But today we're not talking about me not being dead. Today we're talking about The Watcher and them being dead. Yeah, their channel has been falling off a cliff after the controversy that they were in a couple months ago. Maybe just a couple, yeah, about a couple months ago. It's been rough for them. It has not been going particularly well, and the new streaming service, I'm assuming, is not going particularly well either. The operating costs of the subscription service with their lowered amount of views, I'd venture to say they're probably making less money now than they were before the change, which is very, very ironic because the change was strictly made to make them more money. Oops. Their CEO, I forgot his name. Don't ask me to remember his name because I really don't care. Whoever their CEO is needs to be fired because he made a very, very bad decision. He made a bad call and he put the jobs of everybody at risk for a decision that was never going to make them more money than they're making previously. But if you want to see that controversy, you can always check my previous videos. How is their channel doing today? That's the purpose of the video. Well, here's a screenshot of their past few uploads. Now, I know what you're thinking. 100,000 views, man, they're kinda killing it. However, they're not killing it. As I previously stated, with them having 20, I think they said 25 employees, this is just not sustainable. And you might be asking, well, maybe their subscription service is making up for the lower view count. Maybe that's where the other 900,000 people have gone. I'd venture to say that's just not the case. Unfortunately, when you create a separate streaming service like we've seen with even the most popular companies in the entire world, some of the largest corporations like Disney don't even have that conversion rate. That would be unheard of. A 92% conversion rate to a brand new platform is nearly impossible to successfully do, and I'd venture to say that they have not done that. Now, what was the purpose of this entire drama, you might be asking? Nobody knows. The CEO has fucked up. They continue to go down. And the real question is, what will they do to right the ship? My guess, they're just going to fire a lot of people. That's the only thing they can do. And then I would venture to say that their views are going to fall even more. Why? Because they built themselves on eating the rich. Their fan base are very, very democratic leaning viewpoints. And however you feel about that, they don't like when corporations do these massive layoffs and whatnot. So they would not love if they did the same. However, that's about where they're heading. And that's why the controversy was so devastating to them to begin with. The fact is, they basically did a full 360 on their entire viewpoints just to make some extra money, and their fan base has never forgave them. Do I think Watcher will recover? Probably not. I'm trying to be optimistic in seeing a comeback for these guys, but I just don't see it. Their fans have abandoned them. They're moving on to channels that, well, don't need to hire 25 employees to pump out a video. You look at some popular YouTubers like Mr. Beast. Yeah, Mr. Beast can do it because literally he is YouTube. He's got the entire backing and the entire platform watching his content. It is absurd, and nobody else is able to do it to the level he is. You guys are not ever going to sustain the staff you built up to. Simple fact is, they did bad business, and now they're paying the consequences for bad business. When they realized, well, we need to make more money, and they decided to do a streaming service instead, if I was the CEO, and by no means am I a good financial advisor or whatever, I would have said, lay people off. That's the only thing you can do. Fortunately, it seems like their unwillingness to do so, maybe for the best in their moral standpoint, has proven to be the end of their financial standpoint. But I don't want to be all negative. What are some comebacks that these guys can do in order to bring back the 1 million views they were averaging previously. I'd say, again, layoffs have to be your first step. You have to cut your staff probably down to about 10 to maybe even as low as 5 members. Your staff members have to be very, very tiny. You're not going to be able to afford much more than 5 to 10 staffers at one time, or at least as full-time employees. It depends on how you want to pay them, etc. But for now, that's what we're going with. You're going to have to cut it down massively. That's just step one. It's going to have to happen. Step two, refund everybody for the horrendous decision that was that streaming service. Anybody that paid for it gets a substitute. It doesn't matter what it is, a channel membership or a Patreon subscription. I don't really care. Or even merch. Just give them something that's like, hey guys, we messed up. We want to give you your money back, or an option to claim one of three options. Give yourself some goodwill. At the end of the day, you're a business, you have employees, so this is, I think, the best way to go about it. So, outside of sizing down and making up for the subscription service, how do you bring fans back? That is a tough one. I mean, there's only really two options. You can wait it out and keep, banging your head against the wall, making content, coming up with new ideas, and trying to entice them back. Or B, you just cut your losses, you move on from The Watcher, and you create a new channel. You try to be just Ryan and Shane. You're not trying to be this big company making TV shows. Do some random stuff that's less budget heavy. I mean, even if you have a budget, just, you, maybe 3, 4 editors, and just move on. The Watcher as a whole, I think, as a brand, is the problem. You've tainted the brand, you've hindered the brand, so to speak, and now nobody really wants to be supporting The Watcher. I'm assuming that if you change to a new channel, I think people will come back. But again, I'm not, a business CEO. I'm just stating my opinion. I think that's your best chance of making a comeback here. Do I think they deserve it? That's hard to say. Again, I think they're incredible people. I think they do have incredible morals, but I do think they fucked up, and I think people are going to be very hesitant to give them a second chance, whether that's on a new channel or whether that's still on the Watcher channel. Long story short is, who knows? The road to recovery is painfully slow. We've seen it with YouTubers in the past. Like, terrible example, but the best thing off the top of my head is Logan Paul. Sure, he's still an horrendous, horrendous person that nobody wants to deal with on a daily occurrence, but he's made the road to recovery, so to speak. He's recovered his image to a point where people are willing to watch his podcast. They're willing to give Prime a chance. I mean, he's actually recovered his career just by grinding it out, by giving it the time it needs to go away, doing the things he needed to get his audience back. But again, they have too many employees to do that. So it's either downsize or give up. That is all I have to say on the topic. I mean, unfortunately, this was very negative. Unfortunately, I repeated myself a lot. But that is quite literally my entire channel. So, welcome to my channel. Long story short, I ain't got anything else to put. The Watcher needs to really consider their future. Their CEO needs to go. I think his name is Steve Lin or whatever. He's got to go. I'm simply just not, he's not competent. He's one of their friends, I'm assuming, that they gave the role to. Sure, he was good at his job when things were good, but when things are bad, it clearly shows he's not capable in constantly keeping it growing, which as a business you constantly have to do. That will be all for me. I hope you enjoyed, and my last input will be to like and subscribe. I'm hoping to put out more content, and ultimately you don't want to miss that. I'm just simply here to make fun of businesses and YouTubers, and that's about it. Make fun of people and point out their silly, silly mistakes. Am I some big CEO? Of course not. I'm just here to have fun. Adios.